Hey folks, welcome to Life on Beagle Road. Zoning is a word I wish I would stop hearing. But amazingly, now there are two more words I wish I would stop hearing. Exception and variance. Not to be confused with one another, they are mutually exclusive and they cannot be combined. Why, you ask? Let me give you the backstory. When we first explained this whole situation to you, we filed for an exception. We went to the zoning office, we sat down at the desk with the zoning officer and made sure that we had all the paperwork filled out correctly to apply for an exception and be heard by the zoning board. We went to our first hearing for the exception. At that point, we discovered that we needed to use part of our front yard. You saw it in Kenny's last video. Probably not what an HOA would call a front yard, but whatever. That front yard requires a variance, not an exception. Our lawyer went to talk to the zoning officer last week to amend our request to include a variance, and the zoning officer told him that no amendments. We will simply have to submit an entirely new application for a variance, have a new hearing scheduled to be heard on that topic. Seriously? We need a variance and not an exception. The best part of that is we are supposed to pay another $500 application fee for that. Okay. I've been pretty calm and understanding throughout this process and not been mad at anyone in particular, but my patience is really wearing thin. We sat at the desk with the zoning officer to make sure we were doing the right thing, and now we're being told we need a different application and a different hearing and another $500? My patience has expired and my cool is more like slightly hot at this point. There's a reason that Kenny's not in this video. A new application and a new hearing means that our request has to be re-advertised in the newspaper at the end of our driveway and new letters sent to all of our neighbors, despite the fact that none of them had any concerns the first time. There's a lot of rules about when these hearings can be advertised. It can't be the week of the hearing. It can't be the week before the hearing. It can't be the week of a holiday. So we could be looking at February until we can have another zoning hearing. Basically, it takes an act of Congress, a unicorn, and I don't know, a pony riding a unicycle to get one of these hearings scheduled. Not to mention, we've already had a hearing and we could have had the conclusion of it yesterday. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go find my positive pants. Let's go. Honestly, I'm so sick of talking about this. The only reason that we are making videos about it is because so many of you have supported us and we want to make sure to keep you updated on things. However, we won't have any new news for quite some time. So don't be surprised if we are back to making videos about Christmas trees and cookies and goats and chickens and kids and not talking about zoning. Yeah. We'll totally update you when the time comes, but in the interim, let's talk about something else. The last thing I'll add on this topic is that I have been in contact with somebody at our state rep's office who is interested in the fact that this ordinance is only a concern with us. There are other owners of chickens and horses and goats who do not have exceptions or variances, but have the animals sometimes even in their front yard. And Although I don't want to run off and tattle on the zoning officer, and I certainly do not want to cause problems for my other neighbors. What I do want is equitable treatment. Now on to something much more fun and exciting. I know that I've said this before and it wasn't true, but I promise this time it's true. In fact, I've said it twice before and it wasn't true, but I swear this time it's true. We've got the blood tests to prove it. We have 3 pregnant goats. 3! Stevie Nicks, Chloe, and Carly Simon are all pregnant. They're due between February 22nd and March 21st. If you're wondering how that works into the whole zoning thing, well, don't worry. We will rehome the appropriate number of animals after breeding. Anyone who breeds goats will tell you, you certainly do not keep all these goat babies. No matter how much fun that seems like. Oh, and we're registered for our first goat show in April. Yay! It's dinner time. Oh, they're all here in a row. Stevie, Chloe, Carly Simon. Let me finish by saying I've got my positive pants back on. Kenny and I both separately and together have a long history of overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. It's a good reminder to all of us that our track record of making it through bad days is 100%. We'll make it through this too. Thanks for watching and come back for some more fun. We'll give you an update as things get closer, but let's not talk about this for a while. Bye!